Welcome back to Geometry, Measurement, and Probability. In this video, we pick up in section 13.2 with the area of a circle. So let's get started. To find the area of a circle, we use the formula A equals pi r squared, where r represents the length of our radius. We've also talked about a sector of a circle, which is like a piece of a pie. Our formula for our area of a sector is theta over 360 times pi r squared. Theta represents the degrees of the angle. In part A of example 5, we're asked to find the area of a circle. And so our area is pi r squared. Our radius here is 5, so fill in 5. Don't forget that unit. 5 squared is 25, and also square the centimeters. Type this into your calculator. For pi, you can use 3.14, or you can use the pi button on your calculator. Read your directions in MathLabs to see how many decimal places and to see if MathLabs prefers pi or 3.14. And when you type this into your calculator, you end up with 78.54 square centimeters. Notice I used the wavy lines between the area and the 78.54. These wavy lines represent approximately. Now look at part B. We have a sector, a piece of a pie. The formula for the area of a sector is theta over 360 times pi r squared. Theta here is our angle, is 60, and our radius here is 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters squared is 16 square centimeters. Type this into your calculator. You would type in 60 times pi times 16 divided by 360, and you end up with approximately 8.38 square centimeters. Again, read your directions carefully in MathLabs. Does MathLabs prefer the answer with pi? Does it prefer you use 3.14 for pi? And how many decimal places does MathLabs ask for? Look at part C. We're still asked to find the area here of a circle. So our area is pi r squared. Our radius is 3 meters here. 3 meters squared is 9 square meters. And type this into your calculator and you end up with approximately 28.27 square meters. Now look at part D. Notice in part D, here we have a rectangle and 2 semicircles on the end. So when I'm finding the area, I'm going to find the area of the rectangle in the middle. Plus, if I think about those 2 semicircles on the end, I would put those two together and they make a whole circle. The formula for the area of a rectangle is length times width, and the area of a circle is pi r squared. The length and width of a rectangle here are 110 yards and 80 yards. And then I need to think about my radius. Now the 80 yards is the diameter, and the radius is half of that. So our radius here would be 40 yards. 110 times 80, that would be 8,800 square yards. 40 yards squared is 1,600 square yards. And type this into your calculator. You would type in 8,800 plus 1,600 times pi, and you end up with approximately 8,925.66 square yards. Now look at example 6. Here we're asked to find the area of a shaded region. So we have a big rectangle, and then we're going to subtract out the area of the little rectangle. Now notice that I'm using capital letters to represent the length and the width of the big rectangle and lowercase letters to represent the length and the width of the little rectangle. The length and width of the big rectangle are both 8 meters, and the length of the little rectangle is 5 meters, and the width is 3 meters. 8 times 8 is 64, and we have square meters, and 5 times 3 is 15, and again we have square meters. These are like terms, so I subtract, and I end up with 49 square meters. Now look at part B. Again, we're asked to find the area of the shaded region. So I start with the area of the big circle, and I subtract out the area of the little circle. Notice again that I'm using capital letters to represent the radius of my big circle, and a lowercase letter to represent the radius of my little circle. The radius of the big circle is 6 inches. Now think about the radius of that little circle. The diameter is 4, the radius is half of that, and so my radius here would be 2 inches. 6 inches squared would be 36 square inches, And 2 inches squared would be 4 square inches, and don't forget about the pi in each term. These are like terms, so I put them together. That gives me 32 pi square inches. And type this into your calculator, you get approximately 100.48 square inches. And last, we have an application. Carla wants to recover her kitchen floor. Her kitchen is a rectangle that's 12 feet by 20 feet, and the flooring she's chosen costs $4.25 per square foot. We want to know how much is it going to cost Carla to refloor her kitchen. So first, let's start with the area of the kitchen. The kitchen is a rectangle, and so our area would be length times width. Our length is 12, and our width is 20 here. And 12 times 20 is 240. Our units here are square feet. Then to find how much it will cost to refloor the kitchen, I take the 200 square feet, and I multiply that by my unit ratio, $4.25 per 1 square foot. The square feet cancel out, and 240 times 4.25 gives us $1,020.